Welcome to our Agent REbox tech tip of the day. Today we're going to be talking about the spreadsheet dropdowns and how to add them to your Google Spreadsheet. So as you can see, we've got a spreadsheet open here and we've got some examples and we'll dive right in. This is a really neat feature to add to your spreadsheets because there's a lot of functionality to it and it brings your spreadsheets right up to that next level. So let's talk a little bit about a few of the ways that you can use this. Now don't get us wrong, the sky is the absolute limit and we are just skimming the surface in this example, so use your imagination. So a few examples we have here that you could use this for are lead rankings. And you can see here we've built a drop down into cold, warm, hot. So you can click on one of those. It's a really easy way for your team to keep up with things. Listing statuses, team members. So for example, a listing status might be listing gained, listing lost, pending, closed, off the market. You can use that for quite a few different variations. Team members, you can put team members, a drop down of team members, and this can be used for who showed up to team member meetings, who showed up to open houses, or who even is assigned to open houses, and then you can have a drop down of all your team members. Again, the sky is truly the limit with these. Another variation is you can enter data. So we have, for an example, one application of this would be rankings. So for example, a lead ranking might go 1 to 5. So you can type in 1 or 4, depending on your system. Now, you can also set parameters that if you typed in 8, you would get an error so that no one can go above the parameters that you set, which in this case is 1 to 5. We also have some checkboxes that you can see here. So these are one really easy application would be, for example, on listing appointments. Has the listing been gained or the listing lost? And you can enter true or false. You can just do clicks. You can really set the parameters to your system. So that's some of the different ways that you can use the quote-unquote drop downs. So now we're going to go down to the next cell and we'll show you exactly how we achieve this drop down. So just click on the cell that you want to put the drop down in, and you would right click, and then you go down to data validation. Once you click on that data validation, this is where we get to play a little bit. So this is where we can choose whether we want that drop down or the checkbox or the 1 through 5 range. Right now we're just going to show you what we have for the hot, warm, cold. So all we did is click on the list of items, and you can enter as many items as you want, and all you have to do is separate them by comma. So for example, if we wanted the hot, warm, cold, it would look something like this. If we wanted team members, it would look something like this. Okay, and you can go as many as you want. So let's just do the team members for right now. You want to show the drop-down list in the cell. That should be checked, yes. You can either show a warning if someone tries to put something outside of these parameters in, or reject the input. Personally, being slightly OCD, I always like to reject the input, because if I am creating a drop-down with certain parameters, then that means that someone needs to choose something within those parameters. I don't want anything outside of those parameters, so that when I'm exporting and I'm organizing my data, I have exactly the parameters that I need and it's all perfectly organized. And then if you want, you can show a validation help text, okay? And this is just something when you scroll over, it pulls up so that someone knows exactly what's going on. I'm going to choose not to do that since this is pretty self-explanatory with this list of items, and save. So now when someone goes in, they can pick exactly who they want, and it's really easy. The ranking, we'll do an example of this. Again, all you do is you go to right click in your data validation. And so this would be a number. So you can pick a number between 1 and 5. You can pick a number between 1 and 100, 1 and 10, whatever you want to rank. Again, you can use quite a few different parameters here, and we're just going to kind of skim the surface. So we're just going to do 1 and 5, which is what our example is. I'm going to reject an input anywhere else and save. Okay, so I go in 1, if I try to type in 7, rejects. Okay, and then the last one we have here is just the checkbox. So let's pull in a checkbox. Right click, data validation, and checkbox. Okay, you can, again, create a few different parameters here with validations and using custom cells. I am going to reject the input and save. And that way they can click, and again, this is a different category. Sky's the limit on these, really, guys. So moving on to the expense category, down here we wanted to show you how to create a range. So these are all individual cells. I want to create a range all the way down so that my expenses are all showing the right parameters. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to data validation, And you can see here, you've got B11 through B21. Okay, and that's what you have highlighted here. So let's, for example, say you just clicked on the single cell, right click, data validation. You can see that the secondary cell or all the cells in between are not there. You can manually input this as well if you want. It's really easy. And let's say if I wanted to go to B23, and that's all you have to do. So there's two different ways to get it. Again, really straightforward. I want this to be a list of items, and I would want maybe office. I'm going to reject any input outside of my parameters and save. And there you can see the drop down has gone through the entire column. So I can click on any of these and just go down and really start deciding which category each one fits in. So hopefully that helps. Super quick tech tip of the day, spreadsheet drop down. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.